we were sitting around and saying, wow, the power of global partnerships. How do we make that real? Wouldn't it be awesome, to use the word that we were taught to use this morning, if we could have a big European or a global company, maybe like Schneider, talk about a partnership they're doing and have the executives actually talk about what they're doing with a great young company, maybe from somewhere not in Silicon Valley. So miraculously, Mike Zimmerman and Orlando Perez have come through, and I think I'll just say a few brief words about Orlando. We've just gotten to know each other, but I think he's recently joined Schneider through the acquisition of, is it Pace Integrated Systems, and has been working across a number of different fronts, focused on the West Coast. He's a vice president, and I think he's been quite involved in the software analytics space. So curious to hear what Orlando has to say first. Please join me in welcoming Orlando Perez from Schneider Electric Services.
One of the reasons why I'm very excited to be here today, and I mean that, is before I came to Schneider Electric, I was an entrepreneur, most like you guys here in this room. Schneider Electric acquired my company in 2011, and I'm too young to retire, so I decided to stay. And then they gave me this job, which is great. One of the things that we're going to talk about is a market trend that actually has tremendous potential, especially here in the United States, all over the world. But here in the United States, I think has a great potential. And it's predictive energy optimization, next step from energy management. You know what I'm talking about. Predictive. We got a brilliant man here. He knows what we're all about. For Schneider Electric, in order for us as a company, $29 billion company, to keep the innovative DNA in a 29 billion company, to be that honest, is quite difficult. So we go out throughout the world and we find companies like BuildingIQ to bring to us solutions that we could provide to our clients. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike, to let you talk about, you know, the power of your product and the strategic relationship that Schneider Electric has with your company that I'm very excited to be part of throughout the world. So
great. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you. We're good here. So I'm Mike Zimmerman, the CEO and founder of BuildingIQ, and we are delighted to be working with Schneider, aligned with them in delivering value to their customers. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our solution and then talk about why we're working together and what we're able to deliver together. So as Orlando said, this is what we're offering together is really the next generation of the future of the truly smart building. So today, or really I guess we say yesterday, you have the BMS, the building automation system that's in a building. It's a static system, and without going through every point on the slide, it's basically only as good as the operator in that building. It lacks its own, it's excellent at controlling the environment when told to do something, but it lacks really any energy awareness or any inbuilt energy efficiency capabilities. And to get any additional performance out of the building automation system to date really requires a capital investment from the customer. And so that's really where the building automation system and building energy management has been. So as many of you would know, there's been a whole host of software companies and analytics companies that have been bringing their products to the market, the broad category of building analytics. And that might consist of dashboards or reports or even some fault detection systems. And those solutions are really about providing additional visibility to the customer, but ultimately it's about reports and to-do lists. They tend to be solutions or outputs that are backwards looking. And to actually get any savings out of those solutions, to get an ROI, you actually have to either allocate people to it or spend some capital to make some upgrades or fixes. And again, there's benefit because there's some transparency and visibility there, but at the end of the day, still not the end solution that the customers want. And so what BuildingIQ is doing is delivering what we believe is the next generation of building energy intelligence, and that's called building optimization, or predictive energy optimization, as Orlando said. And that's actual, it's a software solution that integrates into an existing building to make it smart. It's self-learning, it's adaptive, and it delivers real-time automated control of the loads in the building. It's not something that generates a report, although there's analytics as a byproduct of that. It's all about actually changing day-to-day energy use to deliver real-time, very measurable savings. And ultimately, it's optimizing cost and consumption and even peak loads without compromising occupant comfort. So that's really what we're doing together, ultimately, is delivering that next generation solution. So I'm probably not going to go through everything about how the system works, but it's a predictive system. So the first stage there is, what's that?
Intelligence.
Intelligence, that's right. And so what it's doing is it's leveraging all the work that Orlando and his teams have already done in the building, and working through the sensors and the building automation system that's already there, and using that to pull data out and then also to write data back to the building automation system, again, leveraging that. And the system actually learns how a building heats up and cools down with all the existing infrastructure that's there. And then the whole idea is to run the building as efficiently as possible, given what is already in the building. It's delivered as a service, so it's a pay-as-you-go solution, which I think fits customer needs very well, especially in this day and age when there's not a lot of capital available. And it's continuously optimizing based on things like weather, DR signals, utility prices, and whatnot. So that's how the system works. I guess I just have a couple of screenshots here of the BuildingIQ optimization product, our fault detection product, and then our automated DR product, DRIQ, which can take an open ADR signal from a utility or a third-party provider and work with the existing systems of Schneider Electric to optimize the loads in the building to deliver them back to the grid. The other thing, and I think this is a nice lead-in to how we're working with Schneider, is we've recently released a product called ManagerIQ, which is basically a remote management console for all the apps that sit under this. So it's all web-based, so you log in and you basically are given access to your portfolio. So Schneider, as our partner, would actually be able to log in and see their portfolio buildings under management. And it brings everything back, all the different buildings with their various infrastructure, all back in a single UI in a consistent format. And you can access all the applications there. And ultimately, what we're trying to enable for our partners like Schneider is a single point on the browser to enable a remote management and remote monitoring of building energy across the disparate portfolios that are out there. We call this together is really energy savings as a service. And here's the solution, all leveraging the cloud. BuildingIQ, we have our own teams historically that have been monitoring sites and managing sites. But really where we're going now is working with our partners like Schneider to enable them, even if they're not, to not have to be on site at a building, but remotely do it, whether it's from your branch office here on the peninsula, yeah, or to do it from India or wherever it makes sense to do. Now, why are we working together? And you can, feel free to add color there. Ultimately, for the customer, it's all about the customer delivering.
It's all about delivering solutions to the clients.
That's right.
That's what it is.
So helping reduce their spend, generating cash flow for other initiatives that they may want to spend for, and then supplementing, because it's actually controlling the loads in the building, you're supplementing the operational skills in the building. So you don't have to have that performance engineer sitting in the building all day, every day. They can go around, maybe be working across a portfolio and be more leveraged. Then for our partners and people we're working together with, like Schneider, I mean, ultimately we like to think it's a high-value offering that meets customer needs today that are being asked for. We hope so, we assume so. It enables new services and revenues for our partners, and then it generates other service opportunities for you. And then lastly, for us, of course, as a startup, you know, the critical thing we hear from, we were asking ourselves, you know, our investors, our board, how do we get scalability? How do we increase our footprint, you know, quickly and increase the impact we're having? And working with folks like Schneider is a great way to do that. We're able to deliver an end-to-end solution, and then, of course, getting the credibility that working with someone like Schneider brings. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No,
That's my
you
last.
did that beautifully. Obviously, it's all about the client. We obviously, we looked globally for companies that we could bring to the table for our clients, not only here in the United States, but throughout the world. And BuildingIQ was one of those companies that we decided that their technology was far advanced from their competitor, the other competitor. They're not the only company that we looked at, but they're the company that we picked to do this particular type of implementation and solution. So we're very proud to be part of your startup company.
Yeah.